No, look, a brilliant, as you said, a captain's knock. We talk all the time about making sure that we have top order partnerships with our cricket. I thought Prab Simran today again was outstanding. I think we found one of the players in the tournament in Priyansh Arya that's opening the batting with him as well, and those two got us off to a good solid start again. But look, he started this tournament in form that I've never seen him in before. His first 3 or 4 games for us were outstanding, and then that today is one of the reasons that I was so keen to get him here as our captain. I know how good of a player he is, I know how good of a leader he is, and I know how hungry he is for success, and I think he proved that to everybody tonight, because that wasn't ever going to be an easy run chase. Turning up here today, I thought 160 or 170 would probably be a good score on that pitch. The pitch ended up playing better than I thought, probably better than everyone expected it to be honest. They played well, but it was a great run chase from us. We've got a very skilled team. We've got a very skilled group of players, but we've got a group of players that have got unbelievable belief in themselves and in one another, and we've got great belief as a team, and I think that got us across the line tonight. Him as a person, that's the thing with him. I mean, as you say, I had worked with him for a number of years at Delhi. He and I are really close off the field. We talk a lot about the game. We talk a lot about his batting. We talk a lot about the tactics of the game. But I actually think he's taken his game to a new level. He's a more mature player now. I think he understands the game and game situations probably better than ever before. And I think that was showcased there tonight, to be able to play the way they did. The only, he'll be disappointed with himself that he didn't hit the winning runs. He didn't get his team across the line, because I know how much he prides himself on being the man that's there at the end to win games. But look, I love working with him. You talk to all the players love working with him. The way he communicates with them, whether it's during the game or at practice or back at the team hotel, we've managed to create a really good environment that everybody seems to be really happy in, and the boys are playing some good cricket in. So all in all, it was another good performance from us tonight. He's a lot more confident in himself now than he was, and that comes with experience. I mean, he won the IPL last year as the captain, so when you've done that and you've got that experience behind you, and you believe and trust in your own instincts, I think that's the biggest thing with captaincy, especially in a T20 game when everything around you is happening so fast. 4s and 6s are flying everywhere. His ability to stay calm on the field, though, he mightn't have been that calm tonight when we were a couple of overs late getting through the overs, but just his maturity, I think, and that experience. And he knows he's got a good group around him as well. He knows he's got a lot of senior players around him that he can talk to if he needs to. But I think anytime he makes a decision now, he sticks with it and trusts it, and that's a great thing for a captain. Well, it didn't look like he was going to take 4 for 30 today, did it, at one stage? 2 overs for 30, and then he comes on and gets a hat-trick and 4 wickets in an over. And, that actually put the brakes right on them. They could have got away and got sort of 220 or 210 at the end there, and they didn't. Look, usually he's a wicket taker. That's what you have leg spinners in your team for. They've got to back themselves and trust themselves that they're going to be good enough to get any batsman out at any time. So for him to have that little impact at the back end of the game today will do a lot for his confidence as well. When we were at the auction table, we talked about how we were going to build the team that we thought was going to be good enough, and Chahal, being the leading wicket taker ever, and then you got Arshdeep and Shreyas and these guys, that they start to form the backbone of a nice looking team. So Chahal's been a big part of that, and he will be more of a part of that as the tournament goes on. We head up to Dharamshala now tomorrow. We're not exactly sure what sort of surface we'll get there. Over the years, it hasn't been a wicket that's aided spin a lot, but when you've got a quality leg spinner like him, it doesn't matter what surface you play on. So I think tonight will be a great confidence boost for him as well. No, I don't think so. I mean, it's still our home ground, right? It's our home ground. We should know the conditions better than anybody else. We should be able to play the conditions better than anybody else. So we travel tomorrow. We've got a very long travel day tomorrow, and then we've got 2 training days before our next game. So we'll have a chance to look at the conditions and work them out. I think the one thing in our favour, actually, we had a 4 or 5 day camp up in Dharamshala before this season started. Everyone went there except for a couple of the overseas guys. So our Indian guys will have a good understanding of what the conditions will be like up there. I know it's a slightly different time of year now, but I think we've got a pretty good idea of what the conditions will be like. So no, we want to make that a place where teams are going to find it hard to come and win. At the end of the day, we've just got 2 home grounds, right? So Mullanpool was 2-2. Hopefully, when we go to Durham-Charlotte, we can win 3 games up there. No, I've had nothing to do with that. This IPL, you guys will see how his stance has evolved. He's opened his stance up a little bit. He's getting his right eye around more to the release point of the ball, and with his shoulders being open, he's being able to create some more access to the ball when the ball's back in towards his body. So that's stuff that he's all worked out himself, and we're still working on it pretty much every day. There's little things that he needs to do because it is such a drastic move that he's done. He's got to make sure that everything is in the right position and all his movements are syncing up really well. But I mean, some of the innings he's played this tournament so far have been as good as anyone else's. I mean, there's been a lot of hundreds made, but Suraj's first game when he made 97, that's as good an innings as I've seen in the tournament. So, and I just think with him, if you look at him now, you just look at him in the eye, you can tell that he's really hungry for success. He's just got that look in his eye where he knows he's the leader of this team. He wants to bring success to this team and this franchise, and the way that he's playing, he doesn't look like he's going to let anything get in the way of that. So that's a great attitude for a leader to have, because that rubs off on everybody else around him. It'll change on the opposition and it'll change on the conditions. So today, in our bowl first team, with Bra being in that and Suryanch obviously being in that side, we had a pretty good batsman in Bra at number 10 in a bowl first side. So we've got a lot of options, we've got a lot of flexibility. At the auction table, I was very keen to get a lot of all-rounders into our squad because you can play them all and know you've got a lot of bases covered. When we get, so we've got LSG up in Durham-Charlotte first game. I don't think it'll be the exact same 11, but when you have a win like that, you don't want to be making too many changes either. So you'll know in a couple of days who's going to play up there and who's not.